Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share a story with you, under the theme, See Beyond the Surface, and Think Beyond the Present. A long time ago, in a small town, there was a carpenter whose reputation was well known. He was famous not only because his furniture looked beautiful, but also because it was strong and long-lasting. Whenever people got married, moved to a new house, or opened a shop, they would go to him and order furniture because they knew, if it was made by this carpenter, it could be used for many years without breaking. As he grew older, the carpenter decided to take on 2 apprentices. He told them clearly, to become a true carpenter, you must not only make things beautiful, you must also make them last. Now, the first apprentice had a very impatient personality. He was eager to prove himself. Whenever he worked, he focused only on quick results and on getting praise from his teacher and from the customers. For example, the very first time he made a table, he chose wood that looked solid from the outside. He polished the surface until it was shiny. He decorated the table with fancy patterns. He thought, if it looks good, people will be impressed. They won't care about what's inside. And indeed, when he finished, the table was stunning. People praised him. Even the master nodded with a smile. The apprentice felt proud. He thought he had already mastered the secret of carpentry. But after only a few months, the table began to crack. The legs became loose. Eventually, it collapsed under daily use. Customers complained. The carpenter shook his head and said, "You paid attention only to the surface. You ignored the real quality of the wood and the structure of the table." The apprentice was embarrassed, but he still didn't truly understand why his hard work had failed. The second apprentice, however, was different. He was calm, patient, and thoughtful. Every time he worked with wood, he didn't just look at its appearance. He observed the grain carefully. He tapped it and listened to the sound. He felt the weight in his hands. Sometimes, he even smelled the wood to check whether it was healthy or had insects inside. He also thought about the future use. How much weight would the table have to carry? Would the wood change shape after many years? Could the joints stay strong after repeated use? So when he built a table, he wasn't chasing beauty or speed. He focused on structure, stability, and durability. When the table was finished, it looked simple, nothing flashy, but it was solid and reliable. When customers brought it home, they found it incredibly practical. Year after year, the table stayed strong, giving people a sense of trust and comfort. The carpenter looked at the second apprentice's work and said with satisfaction, "You not only see the surface, you also see the essence. You not only think about today, but also about tomorrow." This is the way to create real value. As time went by, the difference between the 2 apprentices became clear. The first apprentice's furniture looked good at first, but often broke quickly. The second apprentice's furniture wasn't the most eye-catching, but it stood the test of time. Eventually, the second apprentice opened his own workshop. His furniture became famous across the region, known for lasting many years. The first apprentice, after many failures, finally began to reflect. He learned to slow down, to observe more carefully, and to think more deeply about the future. In the end, the carpenter gathered both of them and gave them this advice: remember, when you do things, don't just look at the surface, and don't only think about quick results. The first apprentice wanted speed and beauty, but ignored the foundation, so he failed. The second apprentice looked deeper and thought further, so his work lasted. That is the true wisdom of craftsmanship. The people in the town remembered this story, and they passed down a saying, "See beyond the surface, and think beyond the present." It became not only the motto of carpenters, but also a principle for life. So, my friends, the lesson is simple, but powerful. Don't just look at appearances. Don't just chase short-term success. When we look into the essence of things, and when we think long-term, only then can we create work and a life that truly endures. So, that's the end of the story. Let's come back to our theme. See beyond the surface, think beyond the present. What does this mean? It means, when we look at things, we shouldn't stop at appearances, we should see the deeper essence. And when we reflect on ourselves, we shouldn't only care about the present moment, we should also think about the future and the results of our choices. This is not just an old saying from the past. It's also a reminder that can help us live more clearly and more peacefully. Imagine a road. Every day, we are walking on our own road. Some people like shortcuts. They believe, if I walk faster, I'll arrive sooner. But shortcuts are often rough and bumpy. You might walk quickly, but you also fall harder. Others choose the longer road. It takes more time, yes, but the ground is solid, and step by step, it actually leads them to the real destination. That is what it means to think beyond the present. When we make decisions, we shouldn't only consider what feels easy right now. We should think about whether the future will be steady and secure. In real life, this wisdom shows up everywhere. At work, we often envy others who get promotions or raises. On the surface, it looks like luck or good timing, but if you look deeper, you'll see the years of effort, persistence, and preparation behind it. If you only see the surface, you'll think it's fortune. If you see the essence, you'll know it was inevitable. In relationships, some people are warm and enthusiastic, and at first everything feels close and joyful. But when difficulties come, they may be the first to leave. Meanwhile, others who seem quiet and not very expressive in the key moment, they may give you the truest support. If you only look at the outside, you might be misled. But if you can see the heart, you'll know where real friendship lies. So, see beyond the surface reminds us not to be fooled by appearances, but to look deeper. Think beyond the present reminds us not to focus only on what's in front of us, but to consider the long run. These two ideas are like a lamp. When we feel lost, they light the way forward. Right now, maybe you've already set aside the noise of the day. Close your eyes and just listen quietly. You don't need to change anything right away. Just keep this one sentence softly in your heart. See beyond the surface. Think beyond the present. Tomorrow, when you face the world again, maybe you'll see the true nature of things a little more clearly, and consider your direction with a little more calm. But for tonight, let these words turn into a gentle breeze, brushing softly through your heart, guiding you into a deep and peaceful sleep. Rest easy. Everything is still in time. You are walking on a road that is becoming clearer and steadier, step by step. Good night.